Please welcome our next speaker, Debbie Raphael. Debbie Raphael, a journey of realisation. A journey of realisation, Debbie Raphael.
I used to enjoy being singled out of my class, reading one-on-one to the visiting teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, contest chair, I used to enjoy. And then one day I realised that none of the popular children were singled out. Just people like me and the deaf boy. And that something must be wrong with me. I got Mum to ask the headmaster. He said, "Debbie has a bad lisp." I didn't want to have a bad lisp. I wanted to be popular. So I began private classes. Once a week, I learned to place the tip of my tongue behind my top 2 teeth and hiss sibilantly. At home, I practiced my S words assiduously. Yet, at the end of 2 months, my new teacher said to me, "Debbie, you haven't improved. There's nothing more I can do for you." I was devastated. That night, I had several realisations. I realised that whenever I opened my mouth to speak, people were going to judge me, not on who I was, but on how I spoke. And I realised that I did not wish to be judged upon an impediment. I also realised that I may not be able to fix my lisp, but there was something I could do about it. Yes, that night I vowed to remove every S word from the English language. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of S words in the English language. At the age of 9, I became fantastic at finding synonyms. I learned to say, "I'll be there anon," instead of "see you soon." At intermediate, a visiting speech language therapist came to school. From a class of 32 children, I was singled out to go and see her. My self-confidence, which was already low, plummeted and hit rock bottom. From then on, I avoided people altogether. At university, I joined the dead language department. There are remarkably few people take ancient Greek. And those few came from rich Wellington families. They spoke with a very English Wellington accent. I wanted to be like them, so I learnt to enunciate as they did. I fondly imagined that now when I had to speak, people would judge me as cultured and wealthy. I didn't care that neither of those things was true. I didn't care when the last vestiges of the Kiwi accent I was born into died. 16 years after I first removed every S word from the English language, I had had a particularly painful day, compelled to converse with people I didn't know, failing miserably. I came home that night and I cracked. I said to myself, "I'm 24. I cannot speak to people. I can't express myself. I can't find love." By hiding myself away, I am destroying my own life. That night, I sowed the seeds of change. I reintroduced S words into my spoken language. Just simple words at first. Words like yes and please and sorry. A few years after I began my slow journey back out into the world, a woman came up to speak to me after a meeting. I was backing away rapidly, as I usually did when people came up to speak to me, when she stopped me and she said, "Debbie, I want you to stand still when people talk to you, and I want you to look them in the eye." I stood still and I looked her in the eye. I never told that woman how grateful I was for what she said to me that day. For more than anybody else, she changed my life. I forced myself to stop crossing the road when I saw people I knew coming towards me. I forced myself to stand still when they spoke to me and to respond. And best of all, I began to look into people's eyes. For nearly half my life, I hid myself away from other people because I was afraid of being judged. I am still afraid. But now I realize that by hiding myself away, I stopped myself from enjoying my Kiwi heritage. I stopped myself from enjoying who I am. And I stopped myself from enjoying the richness which other people now offer me. Every day, I come across other people who hide themselves away. I come across people who have talents, but they're afraid that they're not good enough. I come across people who won't pursue their dreams just because other people laugh at them. And I come across people who hide away parts of themselves, parts of their body, parts of their personality, because they are ashamed of who they are. And I just want to say to these people, don't hide. It's not worth it. By hiding ourselves away, something inside of us dies. And sometimes it's the smallest changes that make the difference between being hidden away and being who we are meant to be as a person. And for me, that smallest of changes is this, that now I allow myself to stand up here in front of you, to look each one of you in the eye, and just to speak. And to speak.
Thank you, Debbie. Another minute, please.